Hello, students. Sorry I couldn't be with you today. I'm at the high school robotics tournament. We are not going to be working on our robots today, but instead we're going to be working in our Chromebooks on a VexCode VR project. So this video is going to introduce you to everything that you need. Teacher's showing this to you now, and you're going to have this video also as a reference in your Google Classroom assignment. So when we get done, you know about Google Classroom and everything is going to be there for you. Two things that you're going to need for this assignment: the VexCode VR, which is the bronze looking link that's going to be in that Google Classroom assignment because we're working in the virtual worlds for Vex, and the Castle Color Match VexCode VR assignment. So this is what you're going to be working on. And so you're going to work on this over the next 2 days. If you're in third period, if you're second period, depending on when you get out of the play. So you're going to be working on this VexCode VR project. The object of this game is to create the robot that's going to get the colored discs from one location to the next. And so if you get through with level one, you're going to try to get level two, and so on and so forth to get up to level three. Don't worry if you don't get to level three. Depending on what your coding ability is and where you're at, we're going to see what we can do with it. Okay, so here's what we've got for you. So we're going to get into the VexCode VR. You're going to open it up using the link that you find in Google Classroom. And the first thing that we want to do is we want to select our playground. And so the playground that you're going to select is going to be the disc mover playground. Now, if it's not set up there, you might have it set up as your grid map, which would be the last one that we did for our when we did our bumper bot or our runaway bot, the bot vac. So it always will go into the last one that you did. What we want to do is choose the disc mover. And when you choose the disc mover playground, excuse me, oh, not the disc mover, the disc transport. Disc transport is the playground that we want. Disc transport. When you choose the disc transport playground, you're going to see you've got these blue discs, red disc, green disc, castle here. You can change your view to get the kind of the 3/4 view, so you're looking not on the top down, so you can see what your robot looks like. I can right click and move around my robot, and what you're going to see here is your robot right on the front of him here is a magnet, and it's going to be able to pick up the robot, the discs as you drive over them. So what your job is to try to get all of the discs picked up according to which challenge you're working on. Now, if you feel like, hey, you know what, I'm totally ready. I'm going to start with challenge two because I'm feeling good about my coding skills. You can start right at challenge two. If you're like, I'm not so sure where I'm at, you might want to start at challenge one, right? And challenge three is, God, you're really dialed in with your coding. So in the first challenge, you're just going to go after one disc of each color, and you're going to drop it inside the correct colored blocks. So my green disc, I'm going to go grab a green disc, drop it in this green square, grab a red disc, drop it in the red square, drop a blue disc, drop it in the blue square, right? And so I can see here, if I go to my top down, I have my squares, I have everything where I'm at, right? So you can see everything at. Now, what you have to do is you have to navigate around these walls. Like you can only get into the castle in between this. So you need to know, how do I travel? How do I move my robot forward? How do I make it do the things that I want it to do? Okay, now your robot is all set up, everything is in there, so we can have it drive forward, right? And I can either just have it drive forward indefinitely for over time and say, I'm going to drive forward, wait a certain amount of time, and then I'm going to have it stop and go do something else. Or I can have it drive forward for a certain amount of distance, right? So maybe I want to try, okay, each of these squares is 200 millimeters. So I'm going to try to get my robot to drive forward. So I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 800 millimeters. Let's go 800 millimeters and see what happens. So I'm going to drive forward for 800 millimeters. When I hit the play button, oh, I got to lock my block in here. Make sure my block is locked in. Go back to my 3/4 view. I hit the play button. My robot's going to drive forward for 800 millimeters. All right, 800 millimeters. Now, where did that put me? I can look around and see, okay, maybe I went a little bit too far. Maybe I'm going for the red disc. I'm going for the green disc, whatever it is. I'm not going to give you the exact code. So I want you to kind of figure this out. So now what you're going to need to do is figure out how you turn your robot using your drivetrain, get to where you need to be. And then the code that you're going to want is right in here. this magnet code, right? This block is the key to your success in any of the challenges. You're going to have to turn your magnet on and off when you're ready to pick up a disc. Now, your robot can only carry one disc at a time, cannot carry more than one disc. So when I have this energize magnet, boost means that you're going to grab the disc and it's going to hold on to it. Drop means you're going to turn the magnet off and drop the disc wherever it is. So if I'm driving along and I drop the disc will drop wherever it is that I'm at. So your challenge is to get one of each into the correct square. Now, if you get that done, awesome. We're going to save that code. We're going to drop that code. We're going to turn it in. So when we're ready to save this code and we've got all of our code done, what we're going to do is come up here. We're going to go up to our file. We're going to save this to our device. When we save this to our device, it's going to save it right in here and give us our project. Now, I forgot to change the name of my project, so I'm going to call this my first name. So I'm going to call it my first name. And what level is this going to be? I'm going to do level 1. So this is going to be level 1, Burke level 1. I'm going to rename it, and then I'm going to save this to my device. That's the code file that I'm going to turn in for level 1. If I get level 1 done, I'm going to work on level 2 and see if I can't get to the level 2. The level 2 is going to be used to pick up all 4 discs and put them in the correct colored goals inside the castle walls. So I'm going to get all 4 of the discs into the correct spots. And level 3, I'm going to get 3 discs into each colored code, and I'm going to hide one of each of the discs behind the castle walls. 3 levels, 3 challenges, 3 code files that you're going to put in. Do the best that you can do. If you have not finished level 1, then you're not going to get to level 2, level 3. Okay, so figure out where you're trying to get into. If you're working and want to start right on that level 3, get into that one, you can get that going. We are trying to get our drivetrain, our values, work out our coding so we get it done as quickly as possible with the coding of our robot. If you have any questions at all, you can email me. This video will be in your Google Classroom for you, along with the Google Doc for this sheet and the link to the VEX VR. Good luck and happy coding.